Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Story Crafters. I'm Jared, World's Okayest Crafter. I'm joined here by Nicole, Game Master Mom, and Charlie, the Inked GM. We are without Jeff for the moment. He, if you remember last episode, had a disadvantage on his initiative, so he has not arrived yet. Maybe here late, we're entirely unsure. But nonetheless, the three of us are here and we are going to get rolling. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Great.
Doing good.
Missed the hell out of Jeff, but happy to see you guys again. It's been a while.
Yeah, no kidding. Life has been a wee bit crazy for the lot of us, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what happened this month. I don't know what's in the water, but I feel like things blew up for all of us at the same time. So I'm just relieved that we're actually doing this.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Before we get the all initiative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
What'd we get?
I'm having the luck from Garycon, guys. I got a 19.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
All right, Nicole.
I got an 18, which I thought was really good. But...
Oh.
Here I am. I'm feeling good about myself because it's the highest I think I've ever rolled out of 10. And I'm still last. So, the universe knows. All right, 19. Man, oh man, that's got to be the highest we've had so far, right? I mean, I think Jeff rolled high last or 2 episodes ago, but I mean,
yeah, because we've only had nat 20s when it came to ties, and we did roll these.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, hey, Charlie.
All right. Yeah. Charlie.
I assume you have a couple things. Yeah, I assume you have a couple things to talk about. So.
Well, yes. So I am happy to report and very grateful to report that I am actually tuning in live for you all here in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin for Garycon. Today was the first day of Garycon, and it was phenomenal. It was absolutely amazing and better than I could have imagined. And I've certainly imagined this day quite a bit, so I'm very excited. Thankfully, Mike of the Weather Dragon, I've been able to do a number of professional games at various tables of his that he owns and has made. And he asked if I could come along and talk about that and promote him at his booth for Garycon. And I was like, yeah, happily. I'd love to come along. And it's been quite an adventure. We did drive up from North Carolina, so that was a fun experience. And
we got in here. Drive?
So we were anticipating 20 hours, and we did it in 18.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
And y'all had I'm guessing you're pulling a trailer with all your stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Big. Yeah. Pretty big trailer, double axle. Yeah. It was. It's quite a. What was interesting though is we came in, and for some reason we came in and it was 63 degrees in Lake Geneva, and yet when driving overnight, we were driving through Pennsylvania, and I remember we stopped at a rest area, and the temperature gauge on the truck said 19 degrees, and I was like, "Whoa!" I did not expect it to get warmer. But now, of course, it's back to the cold, and we're actually having snow now. So, but no, it's been amazing. We got in here. It was really cool I always like being a part of events during the setup phases and getting to be there before everyone gets there, the quiet before the storm kind of thing. And being a part of the vendors and setting up in the vendor hall was a really cool experience, and getting to see all that camaraderie and people coming together. And if anybody follows me on Instagram or Mike, the Weather Dragon, his booth is an incredible setup. And no joke, everybody was walking by and kept telling us that they had booth envy. And it was pretty cool. But already got to meet some really amazing people. One of which was Jason Charles Miller, very notable music performer and professional GM. That's been doing things like D&D in a Castle, and I believe he's done some stuff with Critical Role, and really cool, down to earth guy. Also somebody with a big beard, which is very cool. But super nice, super nice. Everyone we've met, honestly, has been incredibly nice. And so it's been a great time. But not even just, from like the celebrities in this industry and the community and everything. I've gotten to talk to so many people who are both just players, GMs that, are just, GMing at home or have come to the cons to GM, and gotten to talk to several of the people that run booths and sell different things here. And it's just been so cool walking around and just seeing like thousands of people that are so dedicated to D&D. It's really interesting when you go to other cons and you get to see, right, you got the whole big nerdy crowd, but to just like know and see everybody walking around with D&D paraphernalia and they, that this is what they're here for TTRPGs, it is really, really cool and really, really exciting and fun. And it is no one gets tired of any D&D puns. It's fantastic. It's been a blast. But yeah, it's been awesome.
Before you jumped on, Nicole and I were definitely talking about we're just a touch envious of, I'm living vicariously through everybody, seeing your pictures and the Weathered Dragons, if you don't follow him yet, it is quite literally like the most beautiful gaming tables possibly in existence ever. Let alone in Wisconsin now. Truly incredible works of art.
And I can honestly say now, because one of the big reason he brought me on is because I've had the chance to GM, I don't know, like 50 games at various different tables of his and gotten a really great feel for the impact and the experience that players have at it, and my personal experience as a GM and using that table. And I love it. My players love it. There's never been a bad experience or any kind of negative feedback anybody's ever even had about these tables. And with that, I get to experience the quality and everything else. But now, having been a part of his vendor process and setting up, and we've actually, the table is broken down into several pieces in order to be able to transport it and to set it up at the con. And I mean, the amount of thought that he has put into not just the aesthetics of this table, but the structural integrity of it is phenomenal. I mean, he really is a master craftsman when it comes to these tables. And these are the types of tables that, especially, given this point in, I don't know, you want to mention either the economy or just, just consumerism in the industry of manufactured products.
Yeah.
This is truly something that you can purchase and you can pass this down to your kids. Like this can be a family heirloom kind of thing. Is almost unheard of, for something nowadays. And the fact that it is directly proportional to the value of which that you're getting the price for it. It's really awesome. So it's been great. It's been really great.
That's so exciting, and that's so cool to go and represent a artist and a product that you really believe in. That's amazing.
It's a really humbling thing, and Mike, he's become a good friend over the time that I've known him, which is great. But it is just being able to be there and promote that is really cool. And I think it's really cool too for a lot of people that come to the table and I talk to them and I'm like, these are great tables, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't work for him. I'm not getting commission if you buy a table, genuinely, I'm here because I love using these tables and they're so much fun. And he was like, who better to talk to some of these people, especially other GMs than somebody who's GM'd at these tables a bunch.
Right.
And so it's really cool. You get to, when I tell people that, you see their walls kind of come down and they're like, oh, you really like them. And I was like, these are really good tables. I would not be here if I didn't stand 110% behind them. Yeah. It's really cool.
That is really cool. They are, again, I already said it, truly works of art. I like tinker in woodworking, but like, it would be offensive to call myself a woodworker. So it's just, I would love to see one in person and, probably drool on it, if we're being honest.
No, look, same as somebody, who has done a number of different projects and stuff. I would say you and we're woodworkers. But Mike is a master craftsman. Like that, that's what he is.
Like different level for sure.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. That's cool. That is really cool.
But if I can, to further inundate our time on myself for my time at Garycon, I would love to share some of the loot I got today. Because
share the loot.
I got some awesome loot.
I speak for myself, but also everyone. We want to see it. No questions asked.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're listening instead of watching, you need to go to YouTube and watch so you can see the loot.
Yes. Okay. So I did get
Charlie walk around his hotel room. That's fun too.
Yes. So I did get some business cards. Yeah. So I did get some business cards with some people that I talked to, and then some other people that I'm hoping to reach out to. They have my info. So a couple of these people I can talk directly to. One of which is this incredible artist. Ironically and funny enough, called the Dungeon Artist.
Oh, dope!
This is so cool. So they make various different things, but what really caught my eye as a GM was these tokens.
It's beautiful.
So there's a plastic wrap on this. It's actually 2 tokens.
That's pretty sick.
On here, they actually, these 2 tokens, you can see it's a little bit raised here. This is a second token that actually fits. There's grooves in the larger token that the smaller token fits into. And this box that it comes in, what it has is that you go onto, they have digital resources that you go onto, but the token is 2 puzzle coins and a story starter. It has a mystery that like you would give to your players, and then there's like a supplemental information that you can then use that they've made that uses the information and the symbolism and things on here. And then that is something that you can incorporate and build an entire campaign around just the singular coin, or bring it on as a side quest or something else. And this is just one of them. They also have several others that are like coins that like have hidden messages and meanings that have to be deciphered, or another one that like rotates that is like a codex that you use to determine things. And it's absolutely fantastic. And I was like, I want to buy all these coins.
I was going to say, this is why probably I shouldn't go to cons, because I would come home completely broke.
Yes. And so this beautiful coin in particular, it's like this stained glass kind of setting with a sun and a moon, and then additional iconography there. And then on the back is this person with this like ray of light around them, and it has these words around it that say, "Moonlight struck, a price foretold. What once was bright falls pale and cold." And it's called the Lunar Lament coin. I know, right? Super talented, just amazing products. And right now they're really only selling their stuff at cons, but I was talking to them and they said that they're hoping to, they're going to have excess because they sell out quite a bit. I mean, rightfully so. These are fantastically crafted, and this whole set was $25.
Wow.
And just is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and a wonderful piece that you can hand to players. But they said that they're getting more made, and they're hoping to bring it for people to be able to buy online instead of only at conventions.
Awesome.
Which is just fantastic. Yes, that was the first bit. And of course, because this is my first year at Garycon, I did have to get myself a Garycon t-shirt.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
too.
which is really cool. This year it features Orcus, one of the generals of the Nine Hells. Very lovely. Garycon for the 17th Garycon, and then on the back, this I thought was really cool. It's kind of like a like concert kind of dates,
Cool.
but it's all the Garycons up until this year. So it's all the dates of Garycons 1 through 17 and the dates that they took place, which I thought was so cool. And then the next thing that I got was a really cool collaboration piece. It's a collaboration between Norse Foundry, Gax Works, and Elderwood Academy. And they created this RPGs Originals 7 dice set. And so Elderwood Academy made the wooden box with the wooden engraving on it. That's kind of like the old school, like first edition D&D kind of artwork. And then inside, you can house it. Now, of course, it's in a separate bag, so I don't have it. But this is what would be in there. It's got to fit all your set of dice. But
Nice.
then it's all of the original old school D&D dice.
Yeah.
That were in
beautiful.
that would be like they're like the blanks that you got, and you would have a crayon kind of thing, or wax that you would like put in there to color in the numbers. It's representative of those, but thankfully they're painted instead of the wax, so you don't have to go through that mess. But it is that simplistic, really cool colors, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I really love it. It's like a like a little homage to a piece of history, and I was like, I don't need more dice, but I want those dice.
You always need more dice.
I would say
always need more dice.
Nobody really needs more dice. It's not about a need, though.
Yeah. And then there was another vendor in booth, and oh gosh, I cannot remember for the life of me what the booth was called. But I'll try to remember so we can put them in the as a shout out in the description of this.
Later, yes.
But they had a really fun thing. It was so cool. They had a really fun thing. They had a Plinko board, and you did $5 for a chip to drop on a Plinko board, and whatever it fell on, you got either got a nice set of acrylic dice if you did $5, $10 you got a mix of acrylic and metal dice, and then $20 was a set of metal dice. But it would all be random depending on what number you landed, but you got that dice, like that type of dice. But which set you got would be random. Now, if you did multiple drops and you happen to land at the same number, then you got to pick from their wall of prizes. And it was a nice set of wall of prizes. So I was like, okay, well, I want to get some dice for my players, to give some, gifts back to my players back home. So I was like, let me do a bunch of I'll do 4 of the $5 drops.
Sure.
Get some dice and maybe get something off, the wall. And sure enough, I did. So I got some really nice acrylic colored dice, which I'm really excited about. They're all like multicolored and just like very fun. And then from the wall of prizes, it fell out. It's somewhere in the depths of my backpack. But wall of prizes, I got a 4 set of metal D&D D6s. That were like $30 for free.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh, wow. The amount of generosity, at these cons. It was incredible. And then some other final loot that I scored from day one was Norse Foundry. I was over at their booth. And they have
Foundry.
Yes, and they have a metalsmith on staff, and who just makes a bunch of really cool stuff. And so I got myself a really cool inspiration.
Cool.
Ooh, I love that. Yes.
And this was $3.
My word.
Like, what? And then I got all of these really cool double-sided metal coins that have monsters on them. So this is the Tiamat one.
That's sick.
Or not Tiamat, the Tarask one. And then got a gelatinous cube
That's awesome.
Love. Oh, I want that one. That's cute.
And then of course your faithful classic Lich.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these were $1 a piece.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Sweet. North Foundry, thank you.
Yeah,
for real.
Great hookup. Yeah, so just absolutely fantastic. Great people, great scores. Hoping to find some more awesome stuff. Yeah, honestly, guys, I've been to a number of different cons for different things professionally and just personally, you know, for different hobbies and interests but man, Garycon ranks at the top. I mean, the amount of people that are here, how genuinely immersed and interested people are. I have yet to get the feeling of any one person being a gatekeeper or being standoffish. And I mean, you just see people just like walking around and everything. I feel like some cons, like if you went there and you saw some of the people in the TTRPG community, like the Dungeon Dudes or Jay from Swole Initiative, Luke Gygax, right? I feel like in a lot of places, these people would be getting swarmed by everyone, and they wouldn't be able to walk around. And yet, I saw all these guys, you know, come by the booth and hang out and chat and walk around, and everyone just is really just respectful and chill and relaxed. Cool. And also, the hotels, I gotta say, the hotels in this area for this con. Are absolutely amazing. How I posted, I don't know if all of you guys got to see, but the hotel where the convention's held at, the bar and restaurant there, everywhere on the entire property that the con's being held at, has themed their food around D&D, just to appeal to all the people that are here. I bought a cold wrap. On the other side of the property in what's known as their ski chalet, where they were hosting a bunch of games, and one of my buddies was like, hey, had several players, you know, a couple players didn't show up, so we have a couple spots open if you want to join us. And so I like raced over there after the vendor hall closed and joined in the game, and I was starving because I hadn't had dinner, and I was like, well, let me go get something. And this older gentleman had to be in his 80s. Bless his heart, he was so sweet. And I said, sir, you know, do you guys have any food over here? I see there's like, you know, beer and drinks and sodas. And he goes, yeah, we have two cold wraps. We have what was it? It's like we have the Griffin wrap and the Fairy Fire wrap. And I was like, those are cool names, but what the hell are they?
What is this?
And he's like, oh, well, this one's a turkey sandwich, and this one is a buffalo chicken. And I was like, that's amazing.
That's incredible.
And he was so genuine about it. He didn't like, you know, I feel like some places people would be like laughing at the expense of all of this or the audacity of it. But he was so genuine and kind and sweet about it, and was just here for it. And said with a straight face, he was like, you can have the Griffin wrap or the Fairy Fire wrap. I was like, okay.
I love the commitment to it. It's amazing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And the hotel that we're staying at is 2 miles away from the convention center. And even here, this place, when we came in, they had bought a bunch of like dice and dice bags, and they were giving out everybody that was coming for the con free dice sets. And they had a couple D&D books set up and made like a little like kind of like shrine as an homage to D&D. And then they put up several signs and everything indicating that their two I guess like conference rooms or like their event space that's down in the basement of the hotel, they've opened up. And they said they told us at check-in, they were like, those rooms are open 24 hours. So if you and any of your friends or anybody meet, even if they're not guests at the hotel, want to come back here to play any of your D&D games, from the con, and you just want to come over here, you guys are all more than welcome to it. It's open 24 hours a day, whenever you want. And I was just like, that's so nice, like that's just absolutely incredible.
So generous. Yeah.
I know. It's
like
really,
they're all
really
just
cool.
really on board with this like con weekend.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. That's so
nice. And then I will say too, on top of that, again, I've been to a number of different cons and conventions for things work related and not. And a lot of times, a lot of places, and even for concerts too, hotels will shoot the prices up out of the roof for these kinds of things. And over here, I mean, they are pretty booked at all their places. But I was able to get this hotel last minute. I say last minute, but I was able to get it pretty close to the con and everything, and it was still average pricing. They're not upcharging for it, and because I'm here for 5 days, they even did a 25% off discount.
Nice.
I mean, I'm absolutely blown away. It's been great hospitality up here. So shout out to Wisconsin, man. They've never been here before, first time, and they've really, really been accommodating and wonderful.
That's so fun. I'm so glad you're having such a good time.
I'm sold. I'm going next year now. You just sold me on the whole experience. Yeah.
No Absolutely should. I will say though, one change I would try to make next time I come is I definitely would try to stay at the Grand Geneva where the conference is, just simply because it is the conference building in the hotel and everything is really big horizontally. There's so many different things, and like the ski chalet where they were doing that stuff, you have to take a shuttle to. It's like easily a 20-25 minute walk, but if you take the shuttle, it's a couple minutes. But there's just a lot to do, and they have so much going on, and they have various cafes and bars and restaurants just on the property itself for this convention center and for the hotel. So you have everything you need here. And I've looked a couple of times because, it's three or four of us essentially that are here and sharing a car. And I've looked at Lyft, and unfortunately, I guess there's just not enough Lyft drivers to accommodate the amount of people that are here for the con. And so every time I look at it, just to go from the con to here, which is 2 miles away, it's been averaging about $50 to $70. So I was like, man. Right. And I mean, there's just so much going on at the con. Like right now, the place is just buzzing and packed, and people are so excited and playing games into the wee hours of the night that are just, and they're not even like sanctioned games or anything that are being promoted by Garycon. It's just all of these D&D enthusiasts and TTRPG players that are like, let's play this game, this module that we just bought here, or hey, like I just met you and this is cool. I have this, one shot that I'd like to do. Do you want to play it? And a bunch of people are like, let's go, So it is a really cool thing. I would say if you can stay there on site, you will definitely not be bored. And there will be plenty to do. Yeah,
that's so fun.
Let's book a little block of rooms for us for next year.
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've been up to a few other things. I've kind of mentioned, that things have in my non-D&D life have been very busy. And so sure enough, I've had to make the very hard decision to end some of the campaigns that I've been running because I just can't do multiple of them. Mostly, it's not so much the content and everything else and running multiple games as much as it is just the time commitment of being in different places at various parts of the week. So regularly. So I made the difficult decision of my paid games to drop the 3 of them down to 1. And we're now meeting once a month. And I'm really, really grateful when I approached one of the groups that I thought would work well for that. They all immediately were like, yeah, happy to. We love this campaign. We love, this group and everything. And I was really grateful and really humbled that they wanted to do that and we're so on board with it. And so I'm very excited. It's still a ways away, but our first session is going to be April 19th, and I'm so excited for it. We're going to now do once a month instead of 2 to 3 hour sessions. We're going to do about a 4 to 5 hour max session, and very, very grateful for a lot of awesome players. So bittersweet, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'll stop talking.
You're good. That's always hard to trade off, real life responsibilities for D&D, but it's also phased. There might come a time where you're able to pick all those back up and pick up right where you left off and carry on. But it's that's life, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's cool. And yeah, like I said earlier, like I feel like if this whole episode is just like Charlie talks about Garycon, then it's a great episode. So I love all of that. I'm almost hoping that we're going to hear more about it later. So if you think of something else cool that you want to share, just pop right back in, because all of us are like living vicariously through you. Like we all need the Garycon experience through Charlie.
I know. I have so many more pictures and things that I need to post, but the problem is for the most part in the convention center and in the hotel, I have really good service. But the vendor hall, not at all, man. the few things like I posted on my Instagram story and everything of the booth and stuff like that. It's been a few things, but that's because I take it. I make the post and I go to share it to my Instagram story, and then I have to leave my phone sitting for an hour to get it to like upload and go up there. So I have a bunch of pictures and other stuff and some cool videos that I need to make and run through. So it'll be pretty cool. But yeah.
Wow.
Definitely
when this episode comes out, just go to Ink GM and go look through the past things, because they'll all be there by now.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, for those that are watching this on YouTube, I'm hoping you can also go over to my YouTube channel, and I will have uploaded a few of the things there. And I was hoping to do like a kind of like a vlog and everything of Garycon and stuff like that, which maybe I can use part of this and everything, but it is wild how fast time goes. And how easily you can just get sucked into so many different things, and so much time has passed, and you don't even realize it. And you're like, oh, well. So, yeah.
Cons are crazy. I feel like you meet the coolest people, and like the vendors have such good deals, but like it's just so much. It's so many things all at once, and it's like the end of the day comes, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 40 things that I did today and I can't even keep them all straight.
Yeah, so those people that I got the dice from, I feel really bad. And I have several friends that are really big board game enthusiasts. And I feel really bad because I feel like I should be, getting a whole bunch of stuff. But that booth, they bought 3, so they have like 3 of the booth sections. And 2 of those booth sections are just filled with these carts that are like 8 or 9 feet tall, full of board games, like big board games, and all kinds of indie board games and everything. And everything that they have on their shelves are classified as scratch and dent, and they're 50% off. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, so if I get some free time, I might try to take some pictures and send it to some people that I know that are board game enthusiasts and be like, what is there anything on here that you guys want? I can get it for you for half off. I mean, it is crazy, some of the prices that I've seen here. I'm used to going to a lot of like quite a few conventions and stuff that I've been to are trading card related. And those are, the market is just really high for trading cards and the resale market for those. So it is really refreshing and really wild to just be at a convention, and I'm going to places and basically people are like, at some places almost like giving you stuff like for nothing, you feel like for free almost. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Nicole, yeah, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Same as usual, still working on publishing my book. That is still happening. The exciting update right now is that I just got the cover art finished today. So the book has a cover, and the cover is gorgeous, and I'm so excited about it.
That's awesome.
As excited as I am, I don't think I'm going to release any sneak peeks of it until I actually have like a physical sample of the book in my hands. But it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, the old adage, like, don't judge a book by its cover. But like this one, I kind of hope people do because the cover is really cute. It's really cute.
I'm very excited to see it.
Me too.
I said this to Nicole. My wife and I were talking about a couple days ago how many copies of the book we're going to need to buy when it comes out. Because I'm like, 4 or 5 of my players have kids, had nieces and nephews, my own kids. I'm like, I'm going to be buying in bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope people like it. I really like it. So I think that, I'm totally biased, right? Because it's my baby, but I think it's going to be really good for a lot of parents to like share that like introduction into the fantasy of tabletop role-playing games with their kids, like starting, I don't know, as early as you start reading to them. Like I read to my kids when they were like little tiny, like 2-week-old babies. So you can get them started as early as you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's really exciting, and I've been on Instagram and Facebook too. I've been putting out a lot of like sneak peeks of some of my feature characters, and I talked about it last episode of like asking for submissions from people of like submit your D&D character to be featured in the book, and so I've been releasing a lot of those, and it's just so fun to like show people like, oh, here's your character come to life in my world. And like, of course they're hyped about it. So the book stuff has been extra fun over the last 2 weeks, but that's been taking up most of my creative time. Sure. Just like really getting that wrapped up and ready to send to print.
That's understandable.
It's very exciting.
That's really exciting. Cool.
Yeah, that's great. I just had to look because I always date my session notes. I haven't played today's for reference. I don't know when this episode comes out. Today's March 20th is when we're recording this. I haven't played D&D since February 7th. Which now reading that and saying out loud hurts so much more because it's like I know it's been a while. So that's where I'm at. I've been. There was sickness. I was on a family vacation, which was lovely. But the good news is I have an all weekend, like all day, everyday D&D event, which I talked about last episode. By the time this one comes out, it'll be long past. But Goshen and Dragons. I will be at the Goshen Theater. We have a live show tomorrow, Friday night.
Yeah.
And then I will be there from like sun up, well past sundown Saturday. DMing, playing D&D, helping with character creation. There's a paint and take for minis. It's going to be incredible. Very, very excited about it. So my streak of not playing D&D will break. And then once that event is over, I'm hoping to resume my normal D&D life and actually see my players and, progress our story a little bit because it's been a few minutes. But that's what it is. In other exciting news, I bought an airbrush that I've really been enjoying. I'm still very much a novice, so I pretty much have only used it for priming. I bought one, which was the one that Jeff talked about and shared. Bought that one, and it was actually faulty. So I'm returning it, and I got another one that I decided to just upgrade a little bit. So it will be in the show notes. I got the Master Airbrush Cool Runner 2 is what it's called. It's a bundle that I got off of Amazon. Came with 3 airbrushes. It's lovely. I have. It is I was skeptical, even though, every single person you talk to is like, you need an airbrush, it's a game changer. I was very skeptical. It's a game changer, it turns out, much like I expected. They weren't lying. Just for priming terrain, it is like you can I primed so many large pieces that otherwise it would have taken me, hours, truly hours, in like, 15 minutes to get all of it done, So I'm very excited to continue using it and continue to explore its abilities and hopefully up my skill level with it a little bit, because truly, I mean, I know the gun and the needle and everything have a lot to do with it. I truly don't understand how people use it to get tiny details. It's not the skill level I'm at, maybe one day. But it's been a lot of fun to experiment with.
That sounds like an upgrade from like spray can primer. So
for sure, and I truly
nothing else is that.
Exactly right. I will use a rattle can for like priming minis, but for terrain, I found the ones that are foam safe are so expensive that I have a hard time justifying it. So almost always I just use black craft paint and a brush, which works perfectly well. It's just more time consuming. But yeah, so very excited to be in the airbrush game now. If you're on the fence about it, do it. It's well worth it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Still working on my top secret things. I unfortunately still can't share. By the time this episode comes out, I think it will be very close to when I will finally be able to start promoting it, I think. So definitely, keep an eye on my page, World's Okayest Crafter, for when that time comes. It is a very big project that I put a lot of time and effort and love into. I'm so very excited to be promoting it with the people that I'm working with on it. It's really cool. I'm not just what I'm doing, the project as a whole. I am just, one small cog in the larger machine for it. So very, very excited about that. But beyond that, that's been me. Just, working on that and being jealous of what Charlie's up to. So.
Right?
Oh man.
I think Jeff's trying to get in. Jared, I don't know if you can let Jeff in.
I suppose we can let him. Hey, Jeff.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hello.
You're actually truly
you guys?
So good. Truly perfect timing. I literally just finished my sentence of talking about what I was up to, and I was last. So if you,
it's true.
If you're there and have the mental capacity, man, what you been up to?
I am on the way home from running a concert. But what I've been up to lately, I have been building and painting a lot of sci-fi stuff lately. That sci-fi project I was talking about a few episodes ago is finally starting to take off. And I picked up a couple Warhammer things that are really space themed. So that's kind of been a really nice change of pace palette and painting wise, because it's a lot of different colors than I'm used to, much brighter than I'm used to.
I bet.
So that's been fun. That's been fun, but I had to cancel some my D&D sessions lately, though, due to real life thingies between players and stuff. So that kind of sucked a lot, but it is what it is, and everything is good now, so it's fine, and we'll be playing next week. But yeah, life has just been really busy again. We at work came off of spring break, and man, I have been working like crazy. So and it's not slowing down, it's actually getting worse. So yay.
It seems to be the season. That seems to be the through line with everybody, is we're all very busy. Oftentimes with good things. It's not like work is a bad thing. It's just, gets in the way of playing D&D sometimes, which is unfortunate. I was just saying, I haven't played D&D since February 7th is what I just realized, which is like a month and almost a half. So
wow.
yeah, it's going around. It's going around.
And I can't complain. I can't complain either about my job. I mean, I run audio for a living, and I'm not doing it from like a garage. Like I'm doing it professionally, so I can't complain.
Hey.
It's just long hours, but I get to teach students too, like audio, which is really fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, no. Oh, I also did. I played some tabletop games at the local game store a little bit ago. Got my ass completely handed to me, and yeah, that was fun. But yeah, and yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. My brain's all jargon right now.
That's I think that's valid. I think your brain's allowed to feel that way. So
I'm just happy I could get on the call before y'all, called it quits. It was like getting close to 11 here, and I was like, shit, it's going to be done by then, and I'm going to miss it. But
it's all good. We're just cruising through. So
and
no worries at all.
I'm sure you already asked, but Charlie, how the hell is Garycon? That looks so cool.
You'll have to wait and listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get to know until you go back and listen to it.
No.
I mean, truthfully, Jeff, I think I must have talked about it for like 40 minutes. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
No, don't go back into it. I'll listen to it in the real.
But anyway, it would be incredible if all of us, whether it's this year, next year, whatever, down the road, would be incredible if all four of us could end up at the same con and do some in-person recording. I would love to physically meet all of you at some point. Be cool.
Yes.
I'm building our schedule. We got Gen Con, we got Mystic Con, and we got Garycon. That's the three big ones right now that we're all going to.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
None of them are anywhere near me, so y'all just calm down. I'm flying to all of those, apparently.
None of them are near Jeff and I either. Jared's the lucky one but even then he's still 2 hours away. How far is Garycon from you? Gen Con's 2 hours away from you.
That's it's in Lake Geneva, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna map it. It's probably 4 or 5 hours, but maybe not.
Probably.
Like
it happens to be like 3 hours.
3 hours 9 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's still decent. Yeah,
I mean it's a little.
That's a drive, though. That's a drive, not a flight.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I just drove down to the coast of Alabama like a week and a half ago, so it was a haul.
Oh my god.
Listen, maybe this is just a me thing. Everybody in the Midwest just drives everywhere because nothing's close. So it's just like, oh, cool, we get to go.
You don't have a choice.
Oh, you only have to drive 15 hours? Wow, that's great.
That's what I hear. I'm like, that is so not my life. I'm like, oh, it's more than like 4 hours. I'm flying. Like, no, I'm taking a plane.
I mean, that's probably the intelligent way to be. So
I love a good drive.
Well, why don't we then jump into the lore?
Sorry. I wanted to interrupt real quick to let you know about today's sponsor, Firelight Fables Candle Company, where every candle tells a story. Whether you're deep in a D&D campaign, lost in a good book, or just unwinding after a long day, Firelight Fables fantasy-inspired scents like Elderwood Forest, Dragon's Lair, and Mystic Library transport you to another world. Use code STORYCRAFTERS at checkout for 15% off your order at firelightfables.com and let your world smell like an adventure. Back to you, Jared.
So, liches, the lords of undeath. Few beings in the worlds of Dungeons and Dragons. I know the game we play. That's what it's called. Few beings in the world of the game we all play inspire the same mix of fear and fascination as the Lich. These necromantic overlords are a staple of fantasy, but what is a Lich truly? Where do they come from, and why do they so often loom at the center of dark and terrible tales? At its core, a lich is a powerful spellcaster who has chosen undeath as a means of preserving their intellect and magical prowess indefinitely. Unlike vampires, whose curse is often unwanted, a lich is made by choice. The path is neither easy nor without cost. One must craft a phylactery, an arcane vessel that houses their soul, allowing them to rise again should their body be destroyed. The ritual to become a lich is one of the darkest secrets of necromancy, often requiring a horrific sacrifice, typically the consumption of a deadly elixir that severs the soul from the flesh. Sounds lovely. But lichdom is not immortality in its purest form. It is undeath. Over time, a lich's body deteriorates, their once living form withering into something skeletal and ghastly, yet their mind remains sharp, if not sharper than ever before, and their magic only deepens. They require neither food nor sleep nor air, only the presence of their phylactery, which they must feed with souls to keep themselves anchored to existence. The power of the phylactery. Destroying a lich is no simple feat. If their body is slain, but their phylactery remains intact, they will return, perhaps in hours, perhaps in days, but always with a vengeance. To end a lich for good, one must find and destroy the phylactery, which is never left unguarded. A lich will go to unimaginable lengths to ensure its safety, hiding it in forgotten tombs, sinking it beneath the ocean, or even weaving it into the fabric of their own stronghold. Some have gone as far as to bind their phylactery to another living being, forcing an adventurer to make an impossible choice. Some notable liches in lore. The concept of liches stretches far beyond D&D, but some of the most iconic figures from its many editions and setting. Vecna, perhaps the most infamous of all, began as a mortal wizard who sought godhood. His hand and eye, torn from his body in his final battle, became legendary artifacts in their own right. Even in death, his influence lingers, whispering secrets to those who dare seek forbidden knowledge. Asarak, I believe I'm saying that correctly. Tell me if I'm wrong. The architect of the Tomb of Horrors is another name adventurers learn to dread. He constructed death traps not just to slay heroes, but to fuel his own necromantic experiments. Unlike some liches who seek knowledge or power, Asarak seeks annihilation, an eternal nothingness beyond even undeath. What makes a lich so terrifying is not just their power, but their purpose. A lich does not simply exist. They scheme, they build, and they wait. Decades mean nothing to them. They can wage wars across centuries, manipulate bloodlines, or orchestrate catastrophes that won't unfold until long after those who oppose them have turned to dust. And yet, for all their power, liches are often tragic figures. Many begin as scholars or rulers, individuals who feared death so greatly they sacrificed everything, friendship, love, or humanity itself, only to become prisoners of their own abomination. Some go mad over time, their minds unraveling under the weight of eternity. Others lose all sense of purpose, retreating into their lairs to pore over ancient tomes, searching for knowledge they will never be satisfied with. So the next time you hear the term lich thrown around the table, remember, these creatures are more than just skeletal spellcasters. They are masterminds, tyrants, and lost souls clinging desperately to existence. And if you ever find yourself facing one, know this. Killing them is the easy part. Destroying them forever, that is another story entirely.
Ooh. Love it.
Yes, I love liches, man. That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Such a good bad guy. I love him.
Freaky, scary.
Yeah.
I feel like, I feel like I'm catching myself saying this a lot. Liches to me are one of the most iconic. If you had to make a list of 10, maybe 5 even, monsters or figures in D&D, I feel like liches make that list, even maybe into the top 3, So obviously dragons, and then you can debate beyond that, but liches are right there.
Yeah, I'd say the top 3 from that I think right off the cuff is a dragon, an owlbear, and a lich.
Agreed.
Maybe a beholder. I'd throw a beholder in there.
I always forget, like, when I'm playing and things like that, or like even creating a lich, that the phylactery is like the part that, and for some reason I always forget about that part because I'm always worried about is the lich so powerful enough to make it feel terrifying, and I always forget. Oh shit, right? He's got a phylactery that needs to be a part of him, or
You come right back.
Yeah.
come right back and be like. The recurring. Oh,
yeah,
I'm into my neighborhood. Yay.
I love liches. I think what I really like most about them is it's the poetic irony, right?
Mm.
They are the living, ironically, embodiment of being consumed by your passion in the worst way. Like they said, oftentimes they are notable people that are oftentimes people of influence and respect and admiration, and they just get so consumed by the pursuit of knowledge, or perhaps just their own hubris, right? They become so praised and so well respected that they believe into that and believe that they should be above others and have more power and be in this sort of godhood, twisted godhood, right? Because nobody would consider that truly living or living a great life, but nonetheless it is powerful, influential, legendary.
I just like it's especially with newer players. Like if you don't know a lich has a phylactery, like if you're not aware that that's a concept.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, there's nothing more fun than like, we killed that guy. Why is he still standing there? Why is he back? I think that like realization that probably all of us at some point, have or will go through of like, oh, that guy's a lich. I think having an item attached to the fate of a character like that is so much fun from a world building perspective, from a storytelling perspective, just from a gameplay perspective, being able to have that, because that can create so many adventures on top of having your big bad, that your players could then encounter countless times. You also have so many adventures that could be tied to finding, destroying, removing whatever, the phylactery, whatever it may be. And I think that's so much fun.
So good.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now I'm thinking like, maybe I need to write one of these into my game. Maybe there's an expansion there.
Yes, I'm here to tell you, yes. There's always room for liches, always a reason to have a lich. It's great.
I feel like, and maybe I'm, I don't know. I feel like liches could always be an afterthought of like, you don't even have to plan ahead always. It can be like, oh, that guy can come back because here's why, So it's like, I feel like they're the ultimate, like, I don't feel like as a DM I was ready to let go of this character. They're going to be a lich. You know what I mean?
Yes, I like that.
Or, which goes perfectly with the topic that we'll talk about, is least favorite NPC. Do you have a character that you really love that your players are just not enjoying simply because they're giving them such a hard time? Perfect opportunity to make them a lich and just keep the good times rolling.
Keep coming back. Keep coming back. I love it.
All right. With that, why don't we go ahead and jump into our main topic of discussion, which is least favorite NPC. Charlie, kick us off.
Okay, so least favorite NPC. I took this in the consideration in the route of, and again, you can interpret it however you want, but I decided to go in the route of what my players' least favorite NPC of mine is, and because there's a few that tend to kind of haunt them, horrify them, taunt them, terrify, tease. But one in particular that is quite hated by many is I have a paladin NPC who's known as the Jackal. He is what he holds is kind of it's part of a kingdom in my homebrew setting called the Kingdom of Peace, and the hierarchy structure for that is very much based on a monarchy that has a lot of influence from kind of like a English royalty almost, in the sense of at least the structure of it. So the Jackal mechanically is a paladin, but he serves as the arch paladin, like an archbishop, for the king. Not just in a religious and spiritual capacity, but also in a political, influential, and military capacity. So he has a lot of influence and a lot of sway in this kingdom. And with that, he's been able to use it and wield it and do all kinds of misfortune and corruption. Why my players hate him? Because there's a reason that he's called the Jackal. The reason for that is he strikes oftentimes when people are weak, people are endangered, cornered, or they're least expecting it. And the reason for that is he has nobody knows if it's some kind of spell ability that he's been able to gain. Perhaps it's a magical item, a personal ability, who knows? But he has quite a knack for going invisible at the worst and best times. And my players fucking hate it. Especially when you pair that with the fact that he's a paladin. He can strike when nobody knows, come out of nowhere, and by doing so, get advantage on the attack, which oftentimes can lead to, definitely successes, if not nat 20s. And you add that with a, level 4 smite on top of the damage that he's doing. And depending on the character levels that are encountering him, I mean, he can easily take out, the cleric of the group, which is typically what he goes after. He goes after the support, oftentimes the ones that are in the back. And because he's invisible, guess what he does? He goes invisible and comes up behind the group, takes out the most vulnerable or necessary support, and usually does it in one turn. So yeah, they hate the Jackal. He's the least favorite NPC in my homebrew setting.
I mean, which sounds valid on your player's end. I think their disdain is merited.
Yeah, he's terrifying. But I mean, it's so fascinating and it's really cool. I like him a lot because of the fact of his motives and how he attacks hits so hard, and is able to do so strategically. And then when he's really hurt, he has a way of getting away very easily. If nobody has true, blindside or true sight or anything, it's really hard to get him once he goes invisible. Mm-hmm. So he can get away.
I'm assuming being a paladin, he's probably not that easy to hit anyway, because his AC is probably, up there.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. So, I mean, there's multiple factors there that make him really deadly and combative, especially as one versus a whole group of players, right? And I often have groups that are anywhere from 5 to 8 players. So, to have someone that can go toe to toe with multiple people and take out vulnerable members of the party that are very critical support is terrifying for them. But I love it because he immediately changes up any type of group encounter, especially established groups that feel like they have their roles of how they're going to attack and who does what and who stays where. He's able to come in there out of nowhere and immediately shake things up with shock and awe. And people are like, whoa, we have not encountered this. We need to reevaluate how we approach this. So
that's so fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
But he's so far 3 groups, I think. 3 groups. I've had 3 different groups of players encounter him in various scenarios, and every single time they're like, "Fuck that guy," and I'm like, "But that's fair. That's valid." Yeah,
I respect it.
Yeah,
you can certainly try.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great one.
That is a good one. Man.
Nicole, that brings us to you, I believe.
All right. Well, I decided to pick on a NPC that I created as well, mostly because the characters that my players create are mostly created by like 8 and 9-year-old kids, and I really don't want to dog on them. That seems really rude. Also, they create really cool stuff. Like, it's ridiculous and kind of annoying sometimes, but it's so fun and imaginative. So I can't hate on it. So I'm gonna hate on something that I created.
Crush
and
their
honestly, right? I can't do it. That's my babies. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate this NPC, and I don't think that my characters do either. I'm actually kind of cheating a little bit because it's a pair of NPCs that go together, but it's just silly. So that's why I'm talking about it. It's just a random thing that I made up on the fly in the moment, and it ended up being goofy. So my NPCs that I'm going to talk about, their names are Ferric and Barrick, and they are twin goblins.
Yes, I love it already.
But they are also scientists.
Okay.
Incredible.
It's just ridiculous. So, Ferric and Barrick are encountered in my homebrew world in a little forest setting, doing basically a patrol around a pond, and the characters are kind of meant to see them and be like, oh, goblins, like maybe it's going to be a fight or something. But really, these are like the friendliest, nerdiest goblins you ever did meet. And they are just there conducting some very scholarly experiments on the pond and the local flora and fauna of the area. So, I don't know. Sometimes they talk funny if I have the energy for it. I don't know if I have the energy for it right now, so you're probably not going to get a preview. But Ferric and Barrick, y'all, goblin scientists. I don't know where they came from. Just in the moment, I made them up. Are they hated? Are they loved? Does no one care? I'm not sure. But that's what came to mind when I saw the subject. So you're welcome.
It's the premise of goblins being scientists, because it would be so fun to see their notes as scientists, because they're running experiments, but are any of them really useful? Hard to tell.
But they are very dedicated to it.
Hey, I know a lot of people who are very dedicated to their craft, and it doesn't mean they're good at it.
It's true.
Precisely.
I would say, me, every time I try to paint a mini, it's like, what am I trying?
That's
great. It's funny because so far we've all kind of gone in the same direction, because as much as, I was tempted to point fingers and pick out some characters my players have made over the course of playing D&D that haven't necessarily been my favorite, oftentimes in one-shots where we tend to lean more into the absurd. I decided to go with a character that I introduced who's still kicking around in my homebrew world, the Abyssal Tide. He's a dwarf named Grimgar, who is just like a swarthy sea-faring pirate through and through, who has almost zero skill, but is convinced he's the greatest monster hunter in the entire Oceanic Vale. He was a character that I was still, he's still alive, thankfully. I was so thrilled to get to RP, because it's he's absurd. I think I described him as, when you walk down from your room at the end, you almost smell this guy before you see him. You see this drunkard dwarf with, barnacles in his beard and all these things. My players hated him. One player was just I'm this close to just narking the guy. I'm like, he's harmless. He like took him on a quest to fight this monster, and again, useless. Like, very much like, I'm gonna charge in and do none of the work, and then you guys are gonna do all the work, and yeah, I'm gonna take the credit and say, all right, Grimgar's done it again. One of those things. I loved him. He's, again, still kicking around, and I really hope my players end up landing in the region that he's in again, so I can bring him back up. But it was the funniest thing to me. It was just like, he's just this, maybe not happy-go-lucky, a little bit absurd, but my players just immediately were like, it's not even that they didn't trust him, because that's often the case whenever I introduce somebody. They're like, oh, don't trust that guy. That's valid. But like pure hatred for him, I think is so great, because it was just like, I wasn't expecting it at all. And it caught me by surprise. And I feel like as a DM, it's always fun to be caught by surprise, even if it's in the silliest ways possible. But yeah, so that's where my mind went. I have had some players that, again, in one shots, it was actually fun, so I don't even dislike it. But, glad it was a one shot. I had one player who played an Aarakocra named Cleek, and the entire time the only thing he said was Cleek, which was hilarious for a one shot. Thank God it was only a one shot, because, which, again, in that player's defense, he would never choose to play that character in a long-term story. But, so there's always been the one-off characters like that. That's like, by the end of the one shot, we're probably happy to be done with them. But it's always fun. It's always a good time. What about you, Jeff?
My least favorite NPC is a dwarf named Cargrim. I'm just kidding.
I think I saw some art of him earlier today that Nicole shared.
No, I'm kidding.
I love him.
I'm kidding. Cargrim's my favorite. No, at first I had an actual player character in mind, because there's one character that I have that was in a campaign that I was running, that it was a min-maxed character on purpose. It was a blood hunter, so everything had disadvantage and all that, like, oh, I'm resistant to everything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn it, you are literally making me change every single fucking encounter. Like, because you're just steamrolling through everything and it's not fun at the table. But I am not going to pick on him. Instead, I'm going to pick on my first pseudo right-hand man to a big bad that I had. Her name was Lalana. And she was, at first, the MacGuffin of the campaign, being like she got captured, but it was all a ruse to get the players to enter into Zane's lair, and basically she ended up betraying the whole party and everything, and they were like, what the fuck? Like, and it was like this whole thing, and then they had to get her back to the city because they chose not to kill her in one of the fights. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I mean, she's not gonna go willingly. And she was a wizard.
Yeah.
And so basically the party had to kind of like come up with creative ways to keep her restrained while they bring her back to Kriov, which is the one of the capitals in my world. And so they had to they were like, wait, we were here to save her, and now this is happening, and this whole thing went down, and they're like, yeah, screw that chick. So by the end of the campaign, this is my first campaign that I ran, by the end of the campaign, multiple people were basically put on this like public execution type thing and all this stuff, and one of the players like just ran up onto the like podium and was like, I stab her in the heart. Like, I was like, oh my god, like
that escalated quickly.
So that started the combat, and eventually they did kill her in a very gruesome way. But I mean, Zane was also a warlock and not the nicest person either, so
I find oftentimes the big bads don't tend to be terribly kind, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for all of you listening, we would love to hear what your least favorite NPC is, whether it's a character you've created, whether it's a character you've encountered, or anything.
Whether it's a character that we've made that you've played with.
I was gonna say, I was like, especially our players, if you want to tell us your least favorite NPC or what, I would love to read about it and hear about it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So yeah, definitely let us know. Leave a comment, shoot us a message on Instagram. Whatever works best, we would love to hear from you.
Man.
Yeah, who wants to roll the D100?
It is a 45.
A 45. Okay. All right. Okay. So 45. Our next topic of discussion, metaphorical drum roll, is going to be third-party content. So anything that you guys know or like or things of interest.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we'll talk about.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Sweet.
Well, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That one would be good.
For real.
That one would be good.
Sweet. All right.
Sweet.
Good episode, guys. Well done.
I'm glad I could make it on.
We didn't start here, but I'm glad we all got here eventually. So it was me last
Absolutely.
episode. So, maybe next episode we'll all be here from the start.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
And we'll tell.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, everybody. We will catch you on the flip side.
Stay safe. Roll well.
Bye. Whoa. Hey, hang on, what?
That was awesome. You do it, Charlie. What happens if you throw up the peace sign? Is that an iPhone thing?